We love the myth of the self-made man. It's the ultimate social lubricant. It tells you that if you're currently grinding for pennies, it's simply because you haven't worked hard enough, thought big enough, or, disrupted enough. It's a comforting lie because it implies the world is fair. But here's what the data actually shows, and the data doesn't care about your hustle. In the biological world, traits follow a normal distribution. If you measure the height of every man on Earth, you get a bell curve. The tallest man is maybe double the height of the average man. He isn't 10,000 feet tall. The smartest person doesn't have an IQ of like 50,000. Human biology has a ceiling. But wealth is different. Wealth follows a power law, specifically the Pareto distribution. As noted in Nassim Taleb's The Black Swan, we live in extremistan. In this environment, a single observation can disproportionately impact the aggregate. If wealth came purely from effort or intelligence, both of which are normally distributed, the richest person should be maybe 10 to 20 times richer than the median. Instead, they're millions of times richer. That gap is mathematically impossible through hard work alone. In 2022, 3 economists won the Ig Nobel Prize in Economics for proving this with a computer simulation. They published it in 2018 in a paper called Talent versus Luck. They simulated 1,000 individuals with varying levels of talent, all starting with equal amounts of money, and let them live out a 40-year career. Throughout those 40 years, random events occurred. Green dots doubled your wealth if you were talented enough to grab them. Red dots halved your wealth, period. If meritocracy is real, you'd expect the top 20% most talented individuals to hold the most wealth at the end. They didn't. The most successful individuals were almost always of average talent who just happened to be the luckiest. Meanwhile, the most talented people often ended up among the most miserable failures because they never encountered a green dot at the right time or got obliterated by red dots early on. It's published in Advances in Complex Systems, 2018, and the results are chilling. So why do billionaires never say they got lucky? First, hindsight bias. Once you know the outcome, you retroactively connect random events into a story about how your vision and persistence made it inevitable. Taleb calls this the narrative fallacy. You weave a clean story from chaos. The problem is, there are thousands of people who had the same vision and, more persistence, who failed because they hit red dots instead of green ones. We just don't hear about them because only survivors write the books. Second, the Matthew effect. A small lucky break at age 20, like meeting the right person or getting early seed money, compounds over 40 years into what looks like genius. But it started with a coin flip. Imagine 2 equally talented people. One gets a small investment from a family friend at age 25. The other doesn't. 40 years later, one is a billionaire. The other is comfortable middle class. Same talent, different luck at year 1. Third, status protection. Admitting you got lucky undermines the claim that you're a superior human being who, earned every penny. It's far more psychologically comfortable to believe you're just smarter and worked harder than everyone else. The takeaway isn't that you shouldn't work hard. Hard work is a prerequisite to be in the game. But it's just the entry fee, not the prize. You need talent to capitalize on a green dot when it appears, but you also need the green dot to appear. So don't mistake your bank account for a scoreboard of your soul. The simulation shows that the smartest person in the room is often the one who stayed broke because they didn't get the lucky break. That doesn't make them less smart, it makes them unlucky. If you think I'm being cynical, read the Catania study yourself. It's called Talent versus Luck, the role of randomness in success and failure. The math doesn't care about your feelings. I'm Bob. Luck is the only variable you can't control, which is exactly why we pretend it doesn't exist.